Have you ever wondered what the purpose of life is? And have you wondered if there really is life after death? These are some of the things that we look at and discuss and talk about here on Resurrection and Life, the YouTube channel that talks about life after death and resurrection. Now, scientists and mathematicians have looked for centuries as to how the universe might have been created and how the earth might have been created and how it all came about. And there are various theories that have been put forward, very complex theories in many cases. But one of the things that perhaps has been missing in the questioning is, why was the earth created? Why was the universe created? Why did the earth and the universe go to all the trouble of existing? Well, of course, we know that God created the earth. We know that we lived with God, our Heavenly Father, before this earth was created and before we came here to earth. And I'd like to just talk a little bit about that to start with, because knowing a little bit about where we've come from helps us to understand what our purpose in life is here on earth and where we go to when we pass on. Now, we each have a spirit inside of us, and that spirit never dies. We lived as spirits in the pre-existence, or some people call it the first estate, prior to coming here to earth. As spirit children of God, we lived with Heavenly Father. We walked with Him, we talked with Him, and He wanted us to progress, and we did progress while we were in His presence. But to progress even further, we needed to come to earth, and we needed to come to earth for various reasons. We needed to live by faith, we needed to gain a physical, tangible body, and we needed to experience things, difficulties and challenges along the way, so that we could progress and grow and learn to come to know more about Jesus and learn to come to understand what Jesus is all about. So we lived as spirits in the pre-existence, but not all spirits in the pre-existence followed God's plan. God's plan was for us to come to earth, to continue with agency. We have choice. We have the freedom of choice. We can choose to do good or bad. And Heavenly Father, of course, wants us to choose good. But even in the pre-existence, even in that first estate, we had the choice. We had the choice to follow God's plan for us or not to. And of course, we know that Lucifer decided that he didn't want to follow God's plan. He wanted to provide a way for us to be able to come to earth and to be forced, if you like, back into Heavenly Father's presence, not to have that choice. His plan was to take away our agency. Now, of course, that could never come about, but because he rebelled, he and his followers, and it talks about a third of the host of heaven that followed him, were denied the opportunity to come to earth to gain physical and tangible bodies of flesh and blood as we have. But we, those of us that are here, we know that we followed God's plan, and we're here on earth. And we've come, and as I say, we've come to live by faith. We can't remember the pre-existence. We know it's there. The scriptures teach us of the pre-existence. In the Old Testament, in Jeremiah, it talks about that, and there are various other scriptural references as well that talk about the pre-existence. So we're here to live by faith, also to have gained a physical body of flesh and blood, and we have challenges in life, things that we have to learn to do. There are many other reasons why we come to earth, but the purpose is for us to come to know God, for us to come to know Jesus Christ, for us to come to follow Jesus Christ as best as we can. None of us are perfect. He was perfect, none of us are. But as we're endeavoring to become like him, that is one of the purposes of this life. Now, you might say that, well, surely the purpose in life is to grow up as a child, to gain an education, to get married, to have children, to forge a career, and to live as best a life, as good a life as we can. Well, that's true. We do need to do those things, and we do need to strive to be good people and to do good to each other while we're here. But there's a deeper meaning, there's a deeper purpose to life, and that is that we're on an eternal journey. Our spirit, our soul is on a journey through eternity. Now we know that Jesus Christ was born, he came into mortality as well, but he came to perform some important tasks. He came to perform the atonement of Christ. And on one of these videos, I'll go into more detail about what the atonement really is all about. But basically, the atonement meant that Jesus Christ took upon himself the sins of the world, and if we are repentant, we can be forgiven for the things that we do wrong and return, if you like, to God's presence and to be with him and to enjoy spirituality with him. But he also performed, he died on the cross, of course, he was crucified and was resurrected. And that was another great thing that he had to perform. Now, only Jesus Christ had the ability to be resurrected. He was the first to be resurrected. But because of his resurrection, and we don't understand the science behind it, but because of his resurrection, the resurrection will come to all. The resurrection will come to everybody that lives on earth. Now, that's a wonderful thing to know, and perhaps you've heard that word resurrection before. Perhaps you've been to a funeral service, perhaps the funeral service of one of your loved ones, one of your friends, and you've heard that said, I am the resurrection and the life, but haven't fully grasped what it means, not fully understood exactly the detail of what that means. The resurrection means that at some point in the future, possibly at the time of Christ's second coming, and that is foretold in the scriptures, we know that the spirit, which never dies, when we die, when our mortal body dies, the spirit continues to live and goes to the spirit world and awaits the resurrection. And it's at the resurrection when the spirit and the tangible physical body are reunited, but an immortal body, a glorified and perfected body, and we will live forever, and we can be together as families forever, and we will know each other, and we will be glorified and be youthful. So the resurrection is real. It comes about because of Jesus Christ. And the purpose of life is more than just here in mortality. The purpose of life relates to the eternities, where we were before this earth life and where we go afterwards. So if anybody comes to you and says, what happened before this earth life? Why are you here? And where do you think you'll go afterwards? Here at Resurrection and Life, we have the answers to those questions. We have those answers because they're in the scriptures. The scriptures teach us these things. And in these videos, we're going to share more with you about those particular scriptures and what they mean and how they relate to this subject of resurrection and life. So there's a quick overview of what the purpose of life is all about. Now, we've skimmed over a lot there. There's a lot more detail, a lot more depth to this. But if you've seen this video and you like what you've heard and you'd like to hear more, subscribe to this channel and we'll share some more things with you. We'll go deeper into some of these subjects. We'll take it piece by piece, bit by bit, and break it down and explain in more detail and share some scriptures with you. If you've liked this video, please like and share these ideas with others. The things that we share with you on these videos are there so that it can bring you comfort. They're there so that it helps you to move forward. Our mission is to help you to move forward in life and to be able to fulfill your passions and to fulfill your responsibilities, even if you felt sad. So we share these things with you, and hopefully you'll listen to a little bit more in the future. And I'll see you again soon. Have a good day, have a good evening, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye for now.